Hello everyone, this is Dr. Bhuvan Saklecha. I am orthodontist from Saklecha Dental and Braces Clinic, Indore. Here I am going to share a video of restoration of MOD cavity, which is mesio, occlusal and distal, in relation to 2-6. So after cavity preparation, we first should do bevel or provide a bevel on the enamel of buccal and palatal wall. As in the video, we are giving a bevel on the buccal as well as on the palatal wall. The bevel should be approximately 45 degrees and it should be all over the enamel which extends to the whole of the cavity on the walls. Now after this, now here we are using Paladin sectional matrix system to restore the walls. Now as you can see in the video, we are placing a matrix band which is extended into the gums with an extension. Now here we are using a wedge of the same system in order to secure the matrix. Now this is how you have to check whether the matrix is seated properly or not. There should not be any air gap between the gingival floor and the matrix band. Now this is the placement of a retainer which comes with it in Paladin system. After placement of this, again you have to check the contour of the band, and here we are etching only the proximal surface. The etchant is applied on the gingival floor extending till the walls of the proximal box itself. We are not etching the whole of the cavity. After 15 seconds you have to rinse it thoroughly with water, and you can use three-way syringe, both the water as well as air. Apply. And then here we are using 3M composite, so we are applying orange bond, which is 7th generation primer system. And since we have etched only the proximal surface or the proximal box, which is here in the distal aspect, we have applied bond only there. Dry it and then cure for 5 seconds. Now since here you can see we have used two matrix band, which is double, the matrix band, and we have used double wedges, two wedges in order to secure the matrix band as well as to reduce the gap between the matrix band and the gingival floor. Now use a composite. Here we have used clear translucent 3M in order to build a wall of the distal aspect of the tooth. Cure it. After curing, first remove the wedge, as you can see, and then the matrix band. Now you can use a probe to remove matrix band, or else you can use the forceps which is provided, and then cure again for at least 5 seconds, both on the buccal as well as on the lingual walls of the proximal surface. Now repeat the same thing on the mesial proximal box also. Here we restored first the distal wall, and now we are repeating the same thing on the mesial surface. The matrix band is again secured with the wedge. Then check for the gap present between the band and the gingival floor, and then matrix retainer is in place. Again then you have to check for the contour and the gap. Again repeat etching on the mesial proximal box only for 15 seconds. Rinse it with air and water both, followed by drying and then priming only the proximal box. The primer should be applied copiously on the proximal surface or on the etched surface, whichever the portion of the, whichever is etched, you have to prime it, and then again you have to use airflow in order to avoid ripples of the primer. Then cure it for at least 5 seconds. Now here we have first used a flow of 3M. We are using 3M composite, so we are using 3M flow. And then the building of wall is done with the help of CT shade, which is clear translucent shade of 3M 350 XT composite. Apply it and then contour it against the inner surface of the matrix band. Just make sure there should not be any gap between the matrix band and the composite. And then cure it. The same things are done. Retainer, wedge, they are all removed, followed by the matrix band removal. Again you cure it on the buccal as well as on the lingual surface. And now we are restoring the mid part or the rest part of the cavity, which is now made into class 1. Now here we are using a selective etch technique, since we are etching only on the enamel. We are not using etchant on the dentine. For 15 seconds, rinse it well dry and then use primer copiously on the rest part of the cavity. Cure it for 5 seconds. Apply flow and then followed by composite. Since here we are using dentine shade first, which is A3 dentine shade. First we have used it, adapted to the cavity as well as of the rest of the part of the proximal surface, and then followed by a body shade. You have to press the composite against the walls of the cavity first. Cure it for 20 seconds. And then you have to reduce the cavity to match the occlusion of the adjacent teeth. First you should do that so that you get the rough idea of occlusion like that. And then followed by finishing burrs and then polish it. Now the finishing burrs and the polishing burrs, you have to go around the cusps. As the cusps are inclined, you have to go around them so that you do not create any sharp margins, any marring of the composite. Now you can see the end result. We have to restore 7 also. That's why we first restored 6 first and then 7. Okay, thank you.